Hello? Hello? I
Hello,
think
hello.
just going to do some testing to see everybody hears us. Can you guys hear us? Marco!
Polo.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, they got it. I think so. Yeah. All right. Okay. Okay, well, hi everyone. My name is Andrew, and welcome to Game Dev's Chatterbox, a short series where I talk and chat with some of the most talented game developers in the industry to find out more about what it takes to become better at your craft, and find out their personal stories, their struggles, and their achievements. Today, we have a very special guest from Estonia,
Hello.
Mr. Morris, aka Jordan.
Yeah, you can just call me Jordan.
Jordan? Okay. He's the solo creator of Haiku, the robot, a very charming Metrovania game set in a land full of adorable yet discomforting robots. He was responsible for all the Pixar art, programming, and animation, and his Kickstarter went extremely well with over 1,000 backers and crashing the goal. And if that's not impressive enough, he had never touched a piece of code in his life until 1 year ago. So, how are you, Jordan? Are we ready?
We're ready. That statement about like touching a piece of code until a year ago is a bit old now. It's probably like a year and a half, but
A year and a half. It's okay. It's kind of the same. It's still very impressive.
I noticed that was kind of the press release style or like a text, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. To get it from there. Yeah, it's a bit cringy when I like hear it when I hear somebody read it back to me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So good, so good.
So, tell us a bit about your personal life and how you got started in the game development.
So personal life, I got like I've moved around a little bit. So I was actually born in England. I lived in Spain for a long time, and now I live here in Estonia. I also spent some time in Hungary as well, so like a lot of places. But I studied architecture, so I like to draw and stuff like that. But I had never done programming or anything like that. Funny enough, I didn't get a job in architecture. I worked for an IT company, and I was building websites. But you use like a CMS, like WordPress. I'm not sure if you're familiar with web development. So basically, you don't need to learn anything, like any HTML or CSS. You just do it for a program, and that's it. But after that, I think I got a bit tired of just doing work, like a normal day-to-day job in the office. And one day I came home and I had the brilliant idea of just making a game. And I just started from there, basically, with Bracky's YouTube tutorials, you know how it is.
Oh yeah. So the web design job you had wasn't to create. So it wasn't more of a technical thing. It was more of a design thing that you had to do. Is that what you mean by that?
It was, yeah, it's kind of like admin, like administrative sort of
Oh, okay.
tasks and design. So it was kind of like a bit of both. But the design aspect I liked, but yeah,
The
I don't know. You just
administrative
get
one, not
tired
so
after a
much.
while.
Yeah. So you said you started after you went away from that job. You just basically you decided like, okay, I want to make games, and you got influence like from Brackies and other, I'm guessing, social media and people creating wonderful projects.
Well, I actually had no idea. Like, I really didn't know anything about like the indie game and community or anything like that. You know, like I'd watched was it Indie Game the movie or something like years ago, and that was basically my only insight to what indie developers do. You know, sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I was like a complete noob, but I didn't quit my job to do it. I was like working on it like not part time, but I was working at it in my free time when I was at home. You know, I was still doing like my full time job. I only just quit my job in December, thanks to the
Wow.
Kickstarter. But
Congratulations.
I know, and it's been great, dude. Like the last
That's
month has
crazy.
just been so phenomenal. Just being able to work on something that you genuinely feel passionate about and want to do. Like you wake up every morning wanting to do it. it's a much different feeling, or it's a feeling that I haven't had for a while. So I'm super happy about it.
That's amazing.
But yeah, I just watched Bracky's basically. There's this tutorial that he does where it's like this cube that moves around the screen and you have to dodge these obstacles.
The 3D one, right? The first 3D
Yeah,
style. I did that as well. I'm
I'm
sure
pretty
many.
sure everybody's done it, because when I spoke to like developers at my workplace, they were like, "How did you start?" And I mentioned that video. They were like, "Oh yeah, I've also done that tutorial." Like these are like full-time developers that wanted to dabble in to game development, trying out this stuff. So I think like everybody's done that tutorial to some
Yeah,
extent.
I think it's a great introduction, anyways. So speaking of like first projects, have you ever done any other projects? And if so, do you have a favorite one apart from
I've done a
Haiku?
few. I've done a few, right? I did that Brackies one, and then I did. Oh yeah, we watched One Punch Man for the first time during that time,
Great anime.
and oh, it's amazing! It's so good. And I had this amazing idea because I wanted to make something simple, right? Because I was only just starting out. I don't know like how to code too well, and I thought, what about an endless runner where you just punch? Because like all it takes is one punch, right? To like destroy the enemy. So I was like, that's amazing. Threw that together, and it was buggy as hell. But I did it, and I put it onto the Google Play Store actually
Oh,
as One
really?
Punch Man. I called it One Punch Man the game. It lasted about 3 months or something, which is quite surprisingly,
3 months
until it got
is pretty good.
taken down by copyright infringement. And it was crazy. Like it got lots of downloads. Like people must have been searching for like a One Punch Man game or something on their phones, right?
Yeah.
And I think it was because season 2 was just coming out as well. So like all of that
The
combined,
rehype is coming back. Yeah.
it just like, I don't know, it had like a crazy amount of downloads. I think it was getting like 3,000 downloads a month or something, which was like zero marketing effort from my side. All I did was just put it up. The reviews were like up and down. There was like 5-star for some reason, I don't know why,
Just
and then
because
like
they
one
love One
star.
Punch Man.
Yeah. Oh, it's One Punch Man, it must be good. And then 1 star, which were just like buggy, unresponsive controls, and like all valid feedback. Like I was fully aware that it's a pile of poop, but it was still fun. I think that was still like one of my favorite projects that I did. It was like basically my first proper project, that was
First
my own.
proper.
So
Yeah. I think I can resonate that with you, and I think it's amazing that even though you released a copyright infringement product, you got to learn through the experience of what it's like to publish and to build the game and then put it on Google Play, was it, right?
yeah, Google Play.
Put it on Google Play. Right, because I think on Apple it's a little bit more complicated, right? I think.
Not so, actually. I later published another game on Apple, and it wasn't too hard.
Okay, I
Just,
haven't
I
done that
mean,
yet.
all of this stuff is online, right? It's on YouTube videos, and all it takes is just a search, and then you
Watch it.
find something. And
Yeah.
some guys helping you step by step along the way. So it's not too hard, to be honest.
Yeah. So you mentioned that you were working on Haiku, and also I'm guessing all of your previous project while you had a full-time job. Was it difficult to balance your day job and as well as handling game development?
I don't know. For me, it was kind of like an escape from my day job, if that makes sense. It was like, honestly, one day I got home from work. This was like when I started, and I was just so annoyed at what happened, or like, like the situation that you're in, and at times, if you're in a kind of big, large company, then you feel powerless and all this kind of stuff. So I just felt like I needed to do something that was mine, that I had full domain or authority over, and that was it. And I could do what I want, sort of thing, And I think that was really what pushed me to do it. But yeah.
To have your own kind of thing.
Yeah, for me it was an escape. It was more of an escape. So I was actually more like looking forward to coming home to work on Haiku than it was, working, sort of thing.
I see. I think Giacomo, which is the animator, he can really resonate with that as well because he would work on his day job and he had
Hmm.
he's an animator, so he would do animation as well. But every time, in my eyes, I see him as a workaholic because he never stops working. And
Yeah.
I always ask him like, why don't you just take a bit of break because it's a little bit inhuman what you're doing. And he said, no, this is fine. This is my escapism. I enjoy this. This is what I do for. I enjoy it, and I relax this way. And
Hmm.
from my side, because I've been in a gap year, I treated Tadpole Tales and all of my self-learning progress as my day job. So I didn't have something to come back to since this is what I'm going, and I am happy with it, if that makes
Hmm.
sense.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, sure.
yeah.
I mean, like, it's I resonate as well with how do you pronounce his name? Is because it's
Giacomo.
that G
Yeah, G.
is pronounced as a J, so it's
Yeah.
like Giacomo
Giacomo.
or something, right? Woo! Italian names, man. Yeah, I agree. It's like it seems like a lot of work, but you know, if you enjoy playing a video game for 4 hours straight in the evening, then what's the difference? You know, like
Yeah.
because honestly, to me, and I've explained this to my partner a few times, that it feels like a video game. Like the fact that I'm making a game feels like a video game. You know, like you have these
It's a
city builder
sandbox.
games,
Yeah.
you have these city building games, right? Unlike games
Yeah.
like Minecraft, where it's like you do all the same things that you do in real life, like eat, sleep, and whatever, but you do it in a game. And for me, it's like a similar feeling when I'm making my game. Like in the evenings when my partner's finished work, because she hates it when I play music while she's working. But in the evenings, like I just turn on music and I'm just like singing and developing at the same time, like drawing. I'm just like having a good time with it.
Giacomo can understand that because usually he worked in Romania for a bit as well, and
Uh-huh.
we would play music while we work, and that was very nice.
Yeah, I just love singing. Like I don't know what it is, but I love singing.
Maybe we can do a karaoke after this.
Well, it
if
wouldn't
there
be
is a
the
live.
first time I've done a karaoke live stream.
Really? You've done a live stream
Yeah.
karaoke?
Well, when I used to live stream, I used to have you can on Twitch you have these channel points that you can spend, right? And one of them
Right.
is to do a karaoke, and so like pretty much every stream I would do a karaoke, and
That's pretty
then
cool.
um,
I wish I was
with
there.
I mean, if you really want to do a karaoke, we do one. It's just that being in lockdown, I haven't really done any karaoke in for a long time, so I don't know how my voice is gonna sound.
I mean, karaoke, you're not meant to sound. I think it's just about having fun. So,
Yeah.
I wanted to also ask you, since you said that now you're based in Estonia, right?
Hmm.
Uh, how is the game dev scene in Estonia? I know it's quarantine, so you're probably like almost non-existent. It feels like, but do you know anything like in that regard?
So, first of all, Estonians are very reserved and they're very quiet people. Uh, when the lockdown announcement was like, you know, that we have to lock down, everybody was kind of and like not interact and social distance. Everybody was kind of like, "Yay! Don't have to interact with people." And now it's, you know, now it's by law. Amazing.
That sounds like England to me.
Yeah, it's a little bit, a little bit. My parents say that reminds them of England as well. But it's so like that's kind of the social aspect, right? But there are a few indie devs, but it's very small community, and the only way I know or have access to them is through Discord at the moment. So we chat occasionally on Discord, and that's it.
That's very similar to Romania as well.
Yeah.
I can agree. Yeah. So now onto like a topic I think a lot of people really wanted to know, just like your own opinion and your insight. So my question is, what does it take to create a Kickstarter campaign?
Okay. Oh, I don't know.
You
It's
can go either
scary.
technical or you can go You know, like mentally, what does it? How does it?
Okay,
What does it
I'll
feel
go.
like?
I'll go like mentally first, and then I'll go like on the more specifics, right? Like the technical specifics.
Sure.
Um, like mentally, it's it's something you need to prepare for, right? Um, like if you have a partner, because I have a partner and we have a house, you know, and a mortgage and stuff like that. So it's not something that you can just, you know, go on a whim and just try it. But even though like even then I spoke to my partner and we kind of spoke about it quite a bit, and we came to the conclusion that like what's the worst that can happen if you have a job already? You just put it out there, and if it succeeds, then great, you can decide, you know, to quit your job then, and stuff like this. But if it doesn't, then you still have a job at the end of the day, you still have income, blah blah blah. So I think if you, you know, before you start any sort of thing like that, like a Kickstarter, then you need to, or any major decision, you need to just make sure you know what steps there are and what, you know, alternative plans there are if it doesn't go the way you imagine and stuff like this. So yeah,
I see.
technical side, then a lot of research is needed. You can't just throw something up.
I just wanted to say before you go on the technical side that
Go.
I really like the way you're thinking, because that's a very proactive attitude towards your decisions. So
Mm-hmm.
like thinking about the worst thing that can happen and then also have a safety net on your back, I think it's very important to for any type of survival, like in the indie scene, especially. I think
I mean, for anything, isn't it?
for anything, yeah,
Like it just puts you in a much better mental state because then, you know, you always have this plan B. So like whatever you do, it's not always like super critical, like I need to succeed, I need to succeed, because at the end of the day, like of course you want to succeed, now that's a different thing, you know, like wanting and needing to succeed. But at the end of the day, if you don't succeed, then it's not a necessity. You can always go back to something else, go
yeah,
back to looking for a new job, etc., etc. So that was kind of the mindset that we figured out, and then once you have that figured out, then you can carry it forward.
yeah,
So yeah,
yeah. Okay, now back at the technical. I'm sorry.
technical stuff. So a lot of research is needed. You know, watch every single freaking video that there is on YouTube about running a Kickstarter. Don't just watch it, but take notes as well. You know, like take actionable things from it, stuff that you can apply to your situation and your project and stuff like that.
Absorb it,
Um,
basically.
yeah, like absorb it exactly. What else? It takes time. Like you need to plan. You need to have a game ready, more or less. You know, like not just an idea, but more of like an idea that's fleshed out. You know.
So in a way to kind of
Um,
show the like its potential to,
exactly.
right?
And I think one of the biggest things, if you want to, like when you're preparing a Kickstarter, is you have to be constantly asking yourself the question, like, are people going to trust me with their money? Like, because they're putting their money forward before anything even exists, essentially, right? Before the
Yeah,
game is finished. Like, you have to think, how can I make the page look like I'm a trustworthy person in a sense, or that, like, you know, because that's what people are doing at the end of the day. They're trusting you, their money to finish a game. So I think that's just one of the core things that you just need to have in your mind at all times. So for that, you need like a demo, you know, like a good demo, I think is good. Even if it's small, mine was like 15 to 30 minutes. That was all.
mm.
Um, Make sure that it's polished, make sure that there's no glaring bugs in it, you know. And all of that, all of them things just convey like a sense of trust. Like if this person can do this short demo in like 30 minutes and it's solid, there's no major bugs, there's no this, there's no that, then, you know, maybe he can do the whole project. You know, maybe he
Yeah,
can finish the whole thing. Whereas if you release something that's buggy, then it's very, you know, a lot of skepticism rises, you know, sort of thing. It's like, oof, if he can't do like a 15-minute game, how's he going to do like a full, I don't know, like 8-hour game, you know?
right, right. I see. So basically, it's to display yourself in such a way that you can gain backers' trust in a sense. And
Yeah.
through that is the main core foundation is to have a non-buggy first vertical slice.
It can be a demo. I've seen videos that say you don't need a demo, but the plus side on having a demo as well is that you can give it to content creators, and people can stream it. People can put it on
Right, of
YouTube and
course.
play it. They can try and do speed runs. You know, like all of this stuff can come out of it. So that's
Right.
like secondary almost, but like, you know, you add all of that up, and it's a lot of content that's being produced for you for free by other people to the other audiences. So it's like it all like adds up.
I see.
But also, yeah, like on the Kickstarter page, you need to make a good job as well. Like nice, lot of visuals, what you have planned. You know, you have to be very transparent. What are you spending the money on? Like occasionally I would browse some Kickstarter pages and it's not clear, like, what are you spending the money on? You know, like, why am I giving you this money then?
Right, right, of course.
You know, like, so like these things you need to be very kind of aware of.
I remember I saw your Kickstarter page and it was very nicely structured with the things you want to include if you get enough funds based on the time you have. And I think that's very important, especially for the transparency part. Is Haiku your biggest project so far?
It is, yeah.
It is. How many projects have you done before that?
I would say about 8.
About 8.
Haiku is my 8th, I think. So I actually started Haiku after the One Punch Man game, but I was still learning and I was just doing like character controls and stuff like that. And I was getting frustrated because I didn't understand anything that I was doing. So I moved to like a different game engine, which was Game Maker Studio. Have you ever played around with that?
No, I never played, but I think a lot of people in the chat have played with Playmaker. I know a lot of people who do.
No, sorry, not Playmaker. GB Studio, Game Boy Studio. That's what
Game Boy Studio.
Yeah.
Never heard of it.
Dude, it is amazing. And it's even better if like you're starting out because you don't need to worry about the code. Like the only sort of programming that you need to do is if statements. So if this is true,
So
if this is false, and that's it. And you can do so much with the studio, with the game engine. It's amazing. So like for me, that kind of stripped away the worry of using code and got me to like learn how to think logically for programming and just focus on art and stuff like that. And then when I came back to like coding in C#, I don't know, everything kind of made a lot more sense for me. So
is Haiku made on Unity?
Haiku is made of Unity, yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay. And then from Game Boy Studio, you shifted back to Unity.
Yeah, Game Boy Studio was like you can only use the original Game Boy colors and stuff like that, so it was very like limited.
Yeah. I see. Okay. Wow. What a journey so far, and it's very impressive. 8 projects. I hope that I'll be able to get there as well on the 8th. I don't even know. I think Tadpole Tales is my 3rd right now.
Well, I mean, it depends what you classify as a project as well, right? So
I would consider a fully published.
Okay.
But like, I don't mean fully published like, oh, with marketing and stuff. No, you just like actually complete a game. It has a beginning, an end, and like, you know, not just the gameplay, but you also have other elements, the main menu and stuff like that. That's how I would consider as a finished project.
Okay. Yeah, so like, because I usually loop in that first Brackeys one as like a first project because it does have like a title, score system, and end screen.
Counts.
So I was like, why not?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been about 8, and that's including game jams, because I consider those to be finished as well.
Yeah.
Even though they're only made in 2 days, but still.
Nice.
Yeah, 8. Nice. 8 then.
What is the best piece of advice you have ever received?
Okay, all right. This one is actually for Kickstarter.
Okay.
So I completely messed up, and I had a meeting with the CEO of Chasm. Have you ever played Chasm or something like that? I can't remember. I don't know if it's pronounced Chasm or Chasm, but it's a it's a Metroidvania that's kind of procedurally generated, and it got like crazy funding on Kickstarter and all
Right,
sorts of stuff.
I heard of it. Yeah, I
So
saw
I
that.
had a meeting with this dude like 30 minutes, and I freaking missed it. Like, and I was
No.
so devastated because I don't know what the hell I was doing. I think I was just watching TV, and it was something to do with a time zone, that the time zone had changed or something like that. And I was just thinking, man, you should have just checked the same day that you had the meeting, just checked, double checked what time you had it, and you would have seen that the time zone had changed or something. But I didn't. And anyway, so I missed that, and I wrote him an email and I apologized and stuff like that. But he kindly still looked at my page, what I had ready by then. And the best piece of advice that he gave to me was that your prices are too spread out. What you want to do is the majority of the people are going to go for the lower tiers. Okay. So like if you know like this 80-20 rule, then like 80% of the people are going to go for like the lower tiers, and only like 20% are going to go for like the higher sort of ones. So what you want to do is you want to make the lower tiers as appealing as possible. And for me, that just resonated like instantly. Like if you're selling the game for like $12 or something,
Right.
if you put on like an extra euro or €2, then you get these extra things, right? Like a lot of people will see that and think, for $2 extra, I can get, a digital map at the end or something like this.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and it's just kind of like this in your brain, you kind of see it as a no-brainer, right? It's just like, well, that makes sense. Like, of course, $2 is nothing compared to 12. And you just keep going like that. So like incrementally just up the price and make all them low tiers like super juicy, but like almost irresistible to go up to the next one. And I think for me that was like the best piece of advice I could ever receive, because it was just like, it just made so much sense. When you get something like some feedback and it just clicks and you're just like, oh my god, that's just, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah.
So for me, that's like the best advice. But as for Kickstarter, for like making games, then I think it's to start small. Like
Start small.
everybody repeats it, and I completely agree.
I agree as well. Just start small, because I think that's because of the nature of the games, you always want to make, like, even if you start small, you'll always be expanding it because it grows as you're making it. That's how it
Mm-hmm.
feels like, and you kind of need to control it, or control yourself in such a way to um, not do that.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. It's honestly the best advice.
mm. So apart from that, do you think, is there a habit that contributed to your success so far?
A habit.
Yeah.
Well, probably the habit is working every day. But I say that, but
Consistency, basically.
what I mean is yeah, consistency. And also, you don't have to be working. Like for me, working isn't just sitting at the computer making stuff, right? It's also just laying on the couch on a Sunday watching a video. Like you don't have to be working every day, but at least if you're just doing something that day that is related to game development or something like that. Like sometimes I would just watch Black Thorns Prod's tutorial videos just for the fun of it. Like just because I was curious to see how he did something, like what code did he use? But I wouldn't actually do it myself. I would just watch, and that's it. And for me, that would be still considered like not a working day between quotation marks.
It's a passive work in a way, right?
Yeah,
It's pretty
yeah,
passive. It's a lot more, I would say, relaxing than actually bug fixing, let's say.
yeah. And
It's a lot more
like you see
passive.
it on videos as well, like these people that say don't never have a 0% day or something like this.
Mm.
And for me, I think that's also true. That's kind of the habit that I have. Like you don't have to follow it strictly, but just more or less every day you either watch a video, read an article,
Mm.
actually do something. I don't know. Some days you might, like today I made like a turnstile for the game, like just a small thing, like whatever's kind of whatever mood you're in, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and it also, I think, just spreading yourself out and just watching videos and as a form of, let's say, passive work, it adds into your arsenal of things you could add or implement in the future that you never know you might have come across.
For
So,
sure, because you watch a thing about procedurally generated stuff, and then when you come to something that you want to make procedurally generated, you remember, oh yeah, I watched this video, that was quite good, and you can immediately go back to it.
yeah, yeah. Cool. Was it difficult to handle non-game dev related work for your game Haiku, for example? Like the administrative stuff, the PR, let's say, and the marketing. Do you enjoy doing them, or not as much, or not so much?
I enjoy it. Like, I think luckily I have quite a cool little community around the game. So it's great. Like, and running like a Kickstarter is where you kind of get that community even a bit more. Like the backers who have actually put down money, they're also very interested in like how it's going, how development is going, and stuff like that. So for me, when I market on social media, which is basically what I do, then it's kind of easy in a sense because I enjoy it. Like if you enjoy anything, it just becomes easy. So,
Yeah.
but there definitely are like ups and downs. Like some days you just can't be bothered to post, or you can't be bothered to do this because everybody has
days like
their
that.
ups and downs. Yeah.
Yeah. Now for the next question, and it's more towards people who want to start up but haven't started or don't know where to begin. If you had to start from zero again, with, let's say, you remember everything with all the knowledge you have right now that you've accumulated, what would you do step by step on becoming a great indie game developer?
I'll do the same. Honestly.
Just start small, work on your game, work on your
Yeah.
prototypes, and then
And
at some point,
like literally start with brackies. Because like for me it's a bit different because I have no coding experience. So like if somebody else is in a similar situation with no coding experience, then definitely start with like brackies, like these full tutorials that are like done from beginning to end, and finish it, like because I see a lot of people start them but then they never finish them either. So like do those sort of things.
finish it.
GB Studio, man, honestly, I can't recommend it enough. I know they also released an update where they introduced like more colors and platformer, because it was all just top down before, but now you can do platformers and all sorts of stuff. Like I'm very tempted to like download GB Studio again and try and make a new project, but I don't want to do that because I want to finish the game that I'm working on at the moment.
I think that's the same with me and Giacomo. We experienced the same thing. We're like, oh, we should make this game. No, we should do no. Let's finish Tadpole Tales first before we do anything else, and then we can dream.
Yeah, the other night, like this week, I kind of crumbled this week, and I've always had this idea in the back of my mind of like a procedurally generated Metroidvania, and I just
you really want to do it.
I just really want to do it, or at least prototype it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
If I can get the map to generate like as I want each time, then that's it. Then all I need to do is fill it out with content. But this is a whole separate game.
Yeah.
There is try to stay away from it.
Yeah, there's a general what was it on Unity Learn? There's a general I don't know if you've done it. It's a really good online class that's free about procedural generation from zero. And then also I think Blackthorn Prod has one, which I'm sure you probably already watched it.
Yeah. I haven't checked out the Unity one, but I've watched the Blackthorn Prod ones. I've watched Jonas's one because I love Jonas's one because it's so simple.
Yeah, I agree. It's so good.
It's beautiful. It's like 4 lines of code, and it's just like what? It's amazing. So like I actually used that in one of my projects previously as well. So procedurally generated is like it's
I
like
don't
a
know.
carrot on a stick for me, you know.
I have to agree with you because there's just something so appealing about it. Yeah. Well, yeah. Thank you so much for giving us such valuable insight and spending your valuable time with us on this podcast. Well, please tell us how we can connect with you, and is there any last piece of advice or guidance you'd like to give to the game devs out there?
So you can talk to me or reach out to me on Twitter as well as Instagram. The think the hashtags are slightly different, but if you just put Mr. Morris Games or Haiku the Robot into the search, you should, or I should pop up. Usually I try to reply to messages and comments and all sorts of stuff. So I mean, if you do want to reach out, then feel free to reach out. And any last advice, then I don't know. Just, just do it. There you go.
Keep it simple, keep it small, and
Shay the Blue. Just do it.
Just do it. Just do it, guys. Just do it. Now Nike's gonna copyright me probably, but
gonna demonetize you.
Yeah. Well, I'm not getting any income yet anyway, so take all of my zeros you want.
But I wanted to ask, how's Tadpoles doing? Because that's releasing soon, right?
Yeah, it's supposed to release on the 15th, but we've delayed it because we haven't. How do you say that? Like, we're not working full time on it. Giacomo has his real life job and he's a freelancer. So because being a freelancer, your work, the amount of work you have to do in a time, like it varies a lot depending on the client and depending on the time that he has. And because of that, our production kind of like slows down or gets really, really fast at unpredictable times. And that's why and unfortunately for the past 2 months, he's been super busy. So we had to like wait a bit for all the art assets to come in, and then I have to compress them and put all of them in the game, making sure that they don't, give an enormous amount of sizes. If you ever work with non-pixel art games, that's one of the first problems you'll stumble upon, because if I don't compress my game, it would be right now, I think, about 20 gigabytes.
Jesus.
And that's like, imagine the game, like playtime is very small. It's a small game. It's 10 to 15 minutes maximum and you'll finish the game. That's it. 20 gigabytes. Who would download that? Nobody.
Yeah. I forgot about
Call of
that.
Duty.
Yeah, I remember like when I was choosing pixel art, I was thinking, oh, look at these file sizes. That's amazing.
Yeah.
But now I forgot. But yeah, you're right.
And now we compress them and it gets all the way down to about 1 megabytes. Before it used to be like 30 megabytes per frame, and we have like, let's say one monster has about 150 frames for one move, and you add that up with about 6 moves, it's a gigantic file already on its own.
But how do you do your like, they've gone off topic here, but
no, that's fine. By the way, guys, write questions. We have a Q&A for like 5 to 15 minutes, so you can write your questions and we'll try to answer after.
How do you do your sprite sheets?
How do we do our sprite sheets?
Not
smartly, like, I'll tell you that much, because we didn't know how to make games. He just literally sends me PNG files.
Okay.
And then I line them on the animator.
Okay.
We should have probably put it on an Atlas sheet or something like that. Probably would have been.
Yeah,
better.
No idea.
Atlas sheet is like when you have one character animation and you put in one image, you put all of them one next to each other in a grid, and then you put them in Unity, and in Unity kind of like slices them up into multiple parts.
Right. That's what it's called.
Yeah, and the reason why that's better, it's because it has one index of one image. The game doesn't have to go through each file and to look for each file like that, and it makes the game a bit faster. I'm
assuming I'm doing that a little bit.
Yeah. You're probably doing Atlas sheet without realizing that you are doing.
Yeah, I just thought there were sprite sheets, like, because like the whole You
Yeah,
have
it's
like
sprite
literally
sheet.
every frame. Like
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But I guess atlas sheet is just another term for it, I guess.
It was another term because we stumbled upon the problem and I had to search how to solve it. And we're still not using Atlas Sheet because converting all of that into Atlas Sheets will take us a very long time.
But
And
I'm
then
pretty sure. What do you use to animate? Is it Photoshop or?
Giacomo uses TV Paint.
Oh, okay, no idea then.
It's
But
a software
yeah.
the animators use. Some animators use 2D
But
traditional
I'm pretty
animators.
sure there's tools out there that just like you upload a bunch of files and it just makes
An
an
Atlas
atlas
sheet.
sheet for you.
Maybe.
Sure, I'm sure of it. Because like for me, I use Sprite for all the pixel art, and I have a Sprite importer, like an animation importer. So it's beautiful because I just do the file, has all the frames, I tag which animations are in, like the frames and which animations and stuff like that. And then I just import it and it's all done. Like sprite sheets done, animations are done with the frame rate, and it's beautiful. The animated controllers done. Like, of course, I have to link it up, but
yeah.
you should look into that, man.
Giacomo, take notes. Giacomo, take notes now, please. I'm going to have to rewatch this video and look it up again. Let's check if there's any questions, or are you guys just... Oh, question for Jordan. Can you tell us a haiku about haiku?
Oh man, putting me on the spot. I'm not good. I'm not good with like syllable counting. Oh, let's try. Let's give it a try. So Haiku the robot is actually 5 syllables.
I see.
Wow. So if you're not familiar, then Haiku is 575, right? But so Haiku the robot is 5. Is a Metroidvania.
Okay,
it could be
nice.
7. Okay, let's think of like 5 syllables for the last one.
Wishlist it on Steam.
Yeah, wishlist it on Steam. Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
Haiku the robot is a Metroidvania. Wishlist it on Steam. That is the worst haiku I think I've ever come up with.
Oh no!
But it works, man. That's great marketing right there.
I'm sorry,
Oh,
I contributed to the haiku as well.
I think I need to tweet that like after we've finished here.
Usually for me, haikus, when I don't know what to say at the end, I just say thank you very much, and that's it.
Very much. I saw there was also... Oh no, that was the same question before. I just checked.
Did somebody else ask any other questions? I'm trying to look through it. If you guys don't have any other questions, I am going to ask a question to Jordan again.
Go for it then.
What is your favorite game?
Oh.
What is your all-time favorite game?
Oh. To be honest, I think it's Pokemon.
Pokemon?
Like,
okay, yeah. Which one?
Like, Pokemon Gold for me just has such a spot. Like, because I was just a little kid when I had Pokemon Gold. And I just have such great memories of it. Because it's one of those games which... like, I've thought about this. And you could translate it into a Metroidvania because it has exploration, right? And it also has ability gated whatever, because you need Pokemon that know how to surf or how to do this. So like, if you want to stretch it, you could say it's a Metroidvania as well. But
yeah. It is also
like,
a role-playing game and an open world game. You can totally say
yeah, it's just so good. And like, it feels so personal, that's the big appeal. It's just like, you have all your Pokemon that you choose to train and stuff like that, and it's like
the fantasy value is so like good.
Yeah, and I mean, have you watched Pokemon the anime? It's just amazing. So
I've watched it as a kid. Like I lived in China back then, and for us, anime is cartoon. We don't have the other form of cartoon that is cartoon for us.
Well, I mean, like when I was a kid, I just thought it was a cartoon. I didn't notice the word anime existed or anything. You know, like I used to watch Sakura, Card Raptor, and Digimon, and Pokemon, and
You
Dragon
watched
Ball Z. They're
Sakura
all
Card
cartoons.
Captor?
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah, I that's like one of my childhood anime as well. I loved watching
Yeah,
that.
it was great. And
During
like
quarantine, I made my girlfriend watch Sakura and she loved it as well.
yo, same.
Did you?
I found it on Netflix and I was like,
Me too, exactly. I was like, is that what I think it is? Okay, you have to watch this. We're gonna watch this together.
well, like for years I'd been trying to find it because I forgot what it was called, right?
Oh my
And
god. I see.
I was googling so many things like cards, anime and stuff like that, and Yu-Gi-Oh kept popping up, and I was like, no, not Yu-Gi-Oh, you know, like go away, Yu-Gi-Oh. Like, what was it? And then I found it, and then I was like, oh, I wonder if they have it on Netflix, and then boom, they had it on Netflix. Amazing.
It's one of the things I remember, like memorable things I remember during this quarantine is just binge watching Sakura all the way to the end, and I don't regret one single bit.
Yeah, we didn't make it to the end, unfortunately, but
we made it. We made it until the end, and we felt pretty sick afterwards, but we made it to the end. We didn't watch the movie though. Did you know there's a movie?
No, I didn't.
Well, if you ever make it to the end, after the end, there's also a movie. We haven't watched the movie yet.
Yeah, I keep meaning to watch these. Was it Neon Evangelion? I can never remember the order of it. What is it? Neon Genesis Evangelion. That's the
Evangelion, yeah, the one with the da 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 da. Yeah, that's
yes, that's just
the
iconic.
the iconic, yeah.
But I keep meaning to watch the movies as well, but I just can't bring myself to it. Every time I watch the like series, I'm just like this.
Yeah.
Just brain dead, like trying to just comprehend what's going on. Like I understand more or less, but like yeah.
T for Trumbull, aka Jack, asked, "Why did you choose the name Haiku?"
Good question. So one thing that annoys me a lot is these names that you cannot pronounce, let alone remember. Like you always see these legend of blah, and you're like, what the hell does that say? But, you know, like, so I was thinking, okay, I don't want to make a name like that. You know, I want to make a name that's cute and memorable and easy to pronounce, you know, and stuff like this. And I had watched, you know, like as we're talking about anime, I watched Alita Battle Angel. Like I watched a movie, and that's how I found out about the anime after as well. And this idea of finding this android in the trash, that was just like, that's just basically what sparked the whole thing, sort of thing.
Oh,
you know?
really?
And I was thinking, oh, what if it was like this Japanese guy that finds like, you know, this robot, and then like he programs him to like talk haikus and stuff like that. Like all of that's gone out the window now, but like that was kind of the initial sort of idea, or that was like really pushing it forward. Because I like Japanese culture and I like Japanese architecture as well, like because that's what I studied, and I was thinking, yeah, why not? But that's kind of disappeared now. But yeah, that's basically how I chose name, and haikus are fun. So haikus, I don't know if you've seen this New Zealand movie. What's it called? The Hunt for Wilder People?
No, I haven't seen it.
Man, you should definitely watch it.
I mean, honestly, I think you're friends with Benji as well, right?
Yeah.
The man, the legend who makes the monkey game.
The monkey game.
The monkey game. Every time, like, I feel like now, whenever I do this Chatterbox, at the end, I have someone just recommend me, you should watch this. You should watch this. And every time it's been an absolute hit. Like, I loved what he suggested. He made me watch Cat Soup.
Oh, I haven't seen that. I'll have to watch that.
You should watch it as well. Yeah. So what's the movie called?
The Hunt for Wilder People. It's quite a peculiar movie. It's directed by What's this New Zealand guy? The one that did For Ragnarok. I can't remember his name now. Anyway, he's a great director, and he's like fun and quirky and stuff like that. It's a good movie. But they basically, the kid is just like trying to make haikus all the time, and they're quite funny and boring and stuff. So I just thought that was, it's funny how all these things have like influence over you, you know? So
yeah, and they
that's
don't
basically how I came up with the name.
100% correlate either way either. So that's pretty impressive. Yeah. Last question. Dima asked, what do you think you can improve in game development?
What do I think I could improve? Definitely my coding, because right now,
same here.
yeah, right now I'm mindful of it, but there are things that I could do better, and then there are things that might not necessarily need to be better. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, you can do like, you know, this super cool script and how like stuff interacts with each other with like minimal lines of code, and how you can reuse it like in the future for like any other sort of thing and stuff like that. Like building kind of systems that are easily like, you can easily plug stuff into.
It's like a Lego piece.
Yeah, like that's cool, and I think it's good to be mindful about it, and I try to be mindful about it. But I think the difficult thing that I face is like, when do you need it? Like, if it's easier and quicker just to make a quick, short script that's like independent but does the same job, then just go for it. You know, like don't overcomplicate it. Essentially, like that's what I feel I need to work on, and I'm working on. So it's a learning process.
It's more of like a judgment kind of thing. You have to judge whether like, okay, there's this, I can do either go this way or that way, and you're just basically consulting the pros and cons of that. If there's no further add-ons that you can think that you would want to add because the game, let's say it's already either complex or it reaches to a limit where you're happy with, you're like, okay, well, I don't need to make a super complicated, sophisticated code to make this happen. If these 2 lines of code works and the game works, let's just keep it at that. Yeah.
I mean, like at the end of the day, nobody else sees the code except from the developers. So
yeah,
it doesn't matter. Like the player's not going to know any different. So
yeah.
There was one other question, I think, that says,
yeah, sure.
When did you know Haiku was ready for Kickstarter? Oh wait, they posted it again. So I think like my situation is a little bit different because of the work environment that I was in. Like when I started this game development, I didn't set out to like become a game developer, you know. It was just like a hobby. It was literally just something that I wanted to try doing and see how it went, and it stuck. And after a while, like I thought about running a Kickstarter, but I always put it off, you know. It was like, bloody hell, like what, like I don't know what I'm doing, like how the hell am I gonna do like a Kickstarter, right? So but like eventually, I don't know, my happiness at work started to kind of decline a bit more and more, and I was at the point where I was thinking, okay, should I change jobs, you know? And then when I was already at that point thinking about should I change jobs, and I was thinking, why don't I try and do a Kickstarter? Like it's probably, you know, now or never sort of thing. Plus me and my partner don't have kids or anything yet, so don't have like huge responsibility on my shoulder in that sense. So I just thought, YOLO, let's do it. And so it's hard for me to say like, was I ready? Like kind of, yeah, because I had been working on the game. I had like a one area of the game ready, more or less, you know. I had been on social media quite actively, like pushing my game stuff out there, so I felt like I had a decent size of an audience to try and pull it off. So I think these kind of factors are the ones that you need to kind of think about.
Right. And I think that's it for this session of Chatterbox. Thank you, Jordan. Thank you, Jordan, for giving us such valuable insights. I hope that this Chatterbox session brought you inspiration and knowledge and will enable you to go forward with your career. Remember that knowledge isn't power, it's potential power. It's the combination of knowledge and execution that will help you to get to your goal. That's all for this week's sessions, Chatterbox. I felt like, Jordan, you wanted to say something at the end?
Well, I just want to say goodbye.
Okay.
No, well, thank you so much for having me on. It's been super fun.
It's such a pleasure, and I just want to thank you so much for your time as well. Like it really means a lot. I
honestly, it's a pleasure for me because I just sit at my computer all day, every day for an hour, and all I see is my girlfriend, and that's it. So, you know, I get to talk with somebody else for a change. So I'm just as happy.
I'm very glad to hear.
Thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you as well. And goodbye, everyone.